What's up, guys? Today we will be talking about the Galaxy S24, the base model in 2025. This, kind of mid 2025. This phone is, in my opinion, one of the best buys you can get as far as just price to specs and just what you get for your money. $356 on Amazon, eBay. You can find these in the used refurbished marketplace. This is a phone that I've been watching in the used refurbished place for a while. I couldn't really recommend it to a lot of people because it was kind of up there in 450s, but this phone got a dramatic price drop. It just has been dropping throughout the year, all the way down to now $356 like we saw, which I think is absolutely incredible for what we actually get here. And there's one reason why I think this is just going to be one of the best buys to get. So if you are in that price range of, I would say, that upper 200s to 300s, I would say save up, the extra money and get this phone. Why? Is because this phone, unlike the S23, gets the 7 years of major OS updates. That is going to be big for people who, you want the latest software updates. You're worried about, phones, not getting the latest updates and stuff like that. That's going to be a pretty nice thing. So let's go ahead and hop into this one. The hardware looks great on the S24. Pretty much I think it looks better than the new S25 series. The kind of bigger cameras that they're doing now hasn't really grown on me. I think this looks more premium or luxurious or whatever. You have the flat sides on here. It's still pretty comfortable and easy phone to hold. So for anybody who wants to, a phone that you can one hand and use one-handed comfortably, this is definitely a great option. And IP68 dust and water resistant, very well built. I think the only thing I don't like is this color I got in particular hasn't really grown on me. I got it because it was a good price, but I'm not actually a big fan of this color. It's kind of like a cream, but I don't know, kind of like a yellowish color sometimes. The display is really good on the S24. Probably one of my favorite things about this phone. You have a very nice panel, very slim bezels on here, almost pretty much identical to the S25's display, honestly. So you're getting a very high quality premium panel here. It's a 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED display. It is an LTPO panel as well, and we also do have on here a really good max brightness as well at 2600 nits. So when we go outdoors, it's pretty sunny outside. This phone does an excellent job. You can easily see it. It's 1080p and it is 416 for the PPI. It does have the Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on here, which honestly isn't as strong as I would like it to be. I do have some kind of scratches on here. I'm pretty careful with my phones too, but if you guys can see, I got this one scratch right here. But besides that, most people will put a screen protector. So but yeah, the screen is great. I love the slim bezels, love the color, even though the color is not as quite it's not as quite as vivid as the older Samsung panels. Even if you turn that vividness all the way up, it still doesn't quite get there. I think it's more color accurate, but I do like that more vivid look. But yeah, I love the display on here. We have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 on here, which again isn't a crazy good upgrade from the 8 Gen 2 that was already pretty good. This is just just a little bit better. This phone is a little bit cooler when you're doing more intense stuff. The S23 doesn't really hiccup that much, so that's why I said the average person is not going to really notice a difference if you come from an S23 to this phone. I wouldn't recommend it because the performance is going to be kind of minimal. But this phone does not miss a beat when it comes to animations and just making sure that it's always kind of snappy and smooth. And with the Android One UI 7 update, it has definitely helped with that. Here are your Geekbench scores for reference here, and it can tackle basically anything you throw at it as far as gaming performance. We get pretty good frame rates with this phone, whether you're playing PUBG, Call of Duty, Genshin, and it's just overall a very speedy and fast phone, basically doing whatever. When it comes to gaming performance, like I said, you can play PUBG 120 frames, Call of Duty, great frame rates, Genshin, basically anything you throw at this phone would do great. I would say that if you're coming from an older device, one of the things that you'll notice with this phone is that since we have the 8 Gen 3, it does a lot better when you're gaming for longer periods of time, not so much draining the battery life. So that is one thing, and it tends to be a little bit cooler as well too. But for all of my gamers, I mean, this is a great option for anybody who's into doing some competitive gameplay. And yeah, I have no issues. The screen looks great. Performance is awesome. There's no real compromise here that you're making. Yeah, the screen is a little bit smaller, but for me personally, I do like to pick up like smaller phones to game on anyway. But yeah, so I would say performance wise is great, guys. If you're looking for a phone, you do a lot of intense multitasking, gaming, and stuff like that, this is a power user's dream phone here. Now, since it is a Galaxy S24 device, we basically get pretty much all the new Galaxy AI features. So the features that's not quite there in, let me turn the brightness down, that's not quite there in like the S23 series, like health assist, photo, ambient wallpaper, audio eraser, that's stuff that's, I believe, is not there on the S23. And I'm assuming as the years go on, that they'll add more AI stuff, and this phone should get it, as long as it'll get whatever the S25 is getting, in my opinion. It should, in theory, because they're virtually the same phone, this and the S25. But yeah, so, the updated Gemini is here, of course, and then we also have our circular search, which has been here. And if you guys do like the live wallpaper, it's a side note, the app Live Loop, I think I made a dedicated video about this, but if you do like it, you can download it there. They have a few cool ones. But yeah, as far as the software goes, running One UI 7 really well. I'm really liking the refresh. Soon to actually get One UI 8, because Samsung was, I guess, behind, this year. So when that One UI 8 comes out, I'll let you guys know. Check out these speakers. We're at max volume. The speakers sound really good, very nice, crispy, clear sound. We also have pretty good bass. You could definitely hear the 808s, pretty well. Are they the best speakers, I've heard? I think the Ultra model sounds a lot better. But these sound pretty good, especially for the size. But I can't even really say the size, because remember, Asus used to make those compact Zen phones, flagship phones. Those things had some crazy speakers, but I mean, these are pretty good. They sound like crystal clear, and they do have a nice little bass and punch to them. You also have the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, which it hasn't really changed that much. It's still very fast. We don't have an issue there. We can also use our face unlock as well too. So the cameras are the reason why you're gonna buy an S24. I think you're getting really good cameras here. It's a 50 megapixel standard, 10 megapixel telephoto, 3x optical zoom, and then we also do have up to 30 times zoom on here. It's a 12 megapixel ultra wide. We can shoot an 8K 24 and 30, and then we have a 12 megapixel selfie that shoots in 4K 60. I think the shots look great. If you guys check out the comparison I did with the S25, a lot of people were saying they legit did not see a difference. So you can pretty much take that as you're getting the same camera. So same camera we have in the latest phone, you're getting the same camera at a crazy discount, $356 or whatever. Dynamic range is great. Detail is there. The color science is definitely pretty good on here as well. And yeah, the skin tones come out pretty solid on here. You don't have to do really too much editing and stuff. So I like the S24's cameras here. And I know Samsung, they haven't really changed these cameras in a while. So I'm hoping that with this S26 lineup that we get a little change up in the cameras here, because we do have a lot of smaller flagships that are doing a lot better jobs. But like I said, video is great. Low light photography is pretty solid on here too. These are still great cameras, so I love the cameras. I don't have an issue with them at all. Even though this phone has somewhat of a smaller battery, and I'm assuming that that big jump we'll see with the S26 is that the new battery tech. This has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, but knowing Samsung will probably jump up to like 5,000 milliamps on these smaller versions, which would be crazy. So this phone, even with a 4,000 milliamp, still does a really good job with standby time and screen on time. I'm able to get through a full day pretty easily with the S24, and this is mostly due to the chip efficiency. So if these chips, they keep getting, more efficient with how they use power, a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in a small phone running 1080p display is going to be, last you easily 2 days. So I'm excited for that. But this one easily lasts all day. No issue. My issue with the battery situation on this phone is that I think it charges kind of slow. It's 25 watts. It's not really that fast. I wish it was 45 watts. But it's 15-watt wireless charging, and reverse wireless charging is on board. So I think this is a great deal, guys. If you can pick this phone up for $356 and that price range, I think that is crazy, because this phone at this price has really no flaws. So what do you guys think?